The second section of the video is dedicated to my experience of teaching on a group level, working with different types of ensembles, whether it's sections of an orchestra or like group lesson type settings where it's maybe a few private students that I have that have come together into a group setting. When we play together, we're working towards common goals that are set within the music that we're playing. There's a term that I've come up with called group unity. I don't know if I came up with that term, but it's definitely something that I agree to, which is trying to achieve a sense of unity within the group, no matter whether we're focusing on dynamics, rhythm, intonation. Those are three of the main things that oftentimes we have to kind of break down in a group setting to find a sense of unity, so that we can put the piece back together once the unity is achieved and create a musical performance. Group intonation, it often requires slow work and slowing down the music in order so that the students can kind of take on each note one by one and kind of find an agreement on intonation. Rhythmic comprehension, we can either work with metronomes or we can do clapping exercises if necessary, to just get everyone on the same page in terms of rhythm. Dynamics, finding that the dynamics are working for everyone in the group. Oftentimes this requires work on bow distribution, and oftentimes I find that when we are concentrating, at least for string players, when we are focused on where everyone else is in the bow, we're able to achieve dynamics that are more cohesive throughout the entire group. Finding unified sound within the group is important. I spoke about finding your musical voice in terms of the private lesson instruction, and this also applies to group lesson instruction because everyone in the group has their voice. So it's trying to make sure everyone is heard and appreciated as on an individual basis, but also in terms of the entire group and the input, the value of each person within the group, to the value of each person that adds to the greater whole. In group lessons, I do exercises like this. Might be a setting where I might have a set of private students that come together and meet. 3 to 5 students might come together and meet outside of their private lesson instruction, and we will do exercises to strengthen the group dynamic. I have something called Finish My Sentence, which is a kind of a game that I like to play, where one person this is assuming that they know the same pieces, but one person will start a sentence, a musical line like maybe dun 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 dun, and then the next student will come up and finish it by closing it with dun 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 dun. This kind of, I find that they kind of enjoy this because you never really know what sentence is going to be started by one student, And also, you don't know whether the other student is going to be able to conjure up the. So it raises challenges in terms of memory and in terms of communication, whether they can communicate and share ideas. So that's one thing that I like to do in a group lesson. But I also have other things similar to that to just kind of strengthen the group dynamic. We also play the solo pieces that we're working on as a group, and this is able to this opens up the students' minds to ideas about the piece that are presented from fellow students, so they can actually learn techniques, or they can learn more about the musical ideas of other students pertaining to the solo pieces that they're working on or have worked on in the past. Also, I work with, I have 4 years of experience working with eurythmics from the Cleveland Institute of Music, and I'm all about incorporating those ideas in terms of developing rhythmic stability within a piece, but there's an endless amount of exercises that I can do with eurythmics to enhance their rhythmic capabilities. So those are the main some of the main things that I like to focus on in my lessons and coachings. I hope you have enjoyed listening, and I thank you for your time. Thank you very much.